do you think about the piano?
What about the piano?
Would it be too noisy to learn?
No, I want to learn how to play piano.
Why?
Because then I could write my own music.
You can't do that now?
Well, no, because I don't know an instrument.
I don't know an instrument. I don't think knowing an instrument's a requirement for writing music.
You can just
write out like what you want the instrument to sound like.
But I don't know.
You don't know what instruments sound like?
Music.
I don't know what a piano is, but I figure if I push the keys, then I'll know.
Like I can write poetry, but then trying to put music to things is very different. My brain doesn't compute music. Even like
what?
Okay, so I used to be in choir, right?
Yeah.
And we had to take final exams where it was like identify which note is an eighth note and which is a whole note and stuff like that, you know?
Had to read sheet music? Is that what you're going with? Okay.
Tell me
all right,
how I got 100%.
Because it's not hard to memorize where things are on the sheet.
I have no fucking clue what it is. I have no fucking clue what they are. I remember whole notes because they're the round one. But like...
Because they're the round one?
Listen...
It's whole because there's a hole in it. I'm so smart.
Listen. Hello and welcome back to Mindless Prattle.
I don't know. I started going with violin and it's fun, but
I
suck at it. And
why haven't I gotten to hear you play?
Because I suck.
Well, I want to hear you suck.
No, it's gonna distract you from it distracts the cats. Like they come
in. That's how bad it is.
They come in and they're like, "That's not right," and then they leave.
Maybe that's why they don't want you to mess with them. They're like, "That man is hurting my ears."
Like he is screechy. That's like I'm just playing open strings and trying to play each string without like leading into the next one, so like differentiating between the two. But it's not for me. I'm more of a you get what you get kind of play. And,
I always figured I'd start
piano.
with a ukulele for something like that, like for strings. You know, you can build upon it.
Yeah, well, I used to play guitar, and I can still like the strings aren't the issue for me. It's the adding in the bow part.
Oh.
That's like I can pluck it, like it's fine, but the bow part, nah,
not for me either.
But then I was like, piano was my other choice. So it was funny you mentioned piano this morning when we were playing a game. But piano is it's harder. Like, where are you gonna keep a piano to practice?
Well, you don't need like a whole piano. Like you can get a keyboard.
Okay, where are you gonna keep a keyboard at?
They sell mini ones.
I ain't playing no bitch ass keyboard. Playing full size or nothing.
Or you can get like a big electric one.
Okay.
And then
my question's still the same. Where's it going? It's right in front of all the bookshelves.
We can put it in here. I'm sure we could store it somehow.
You're on your way to not caring. All right.
I'm sure that they would have.
How much are keyboards? I want to look at. You know what? I'm going to the only reliable source for things.
Listen,
keyboard.
Reliable source has not arrived your birthday gifts.
Oh, these aren't that big. Okay.
No, not for gaming.
What
you need to look up musical keyboard.
Oh, okay. Not regular keyboard. Musical keyboard. Oh, perfect. This one's tiny. Kids piano keyboard. It's perfect.
Educational.
Overall pick 61 key electric. What is a full size? How many keys are on a full size? How many keys on a piano? There we go. 88 keys. All right, that's what we're looking for. Not this bitch ass 61 keys. I need 81, 88, 80. I almost forgot. Musical 88 key keyboard, musical key, full size. There we go. All right, here we go. Beginner digital key piano, 88 full size weight. Sure, that makes sense in my head.
I like that one below it.
The one below it? No, that one's dumb. That one's got a plug-in stuff.
You don't have to insult my choices.
Well, I was insulting the piano, not your choices.
It's a beginner camp piano.
What is this one?
Expensive.
Oh, yeah, this is only for people who know how to play it. Look, this is the Dep 1S, and this is the Dep 20. All right, you can't... 20 is better than 1S.
What does that mean? I got no clue.
Oh, wait, this one's the Dep 45.
Oh, my God.
It's cheaper, too. Why is the Dep 45 cheaper than the Dep 20? Now I don't know. Now I don't know what's going on.
What is the difference here?
I don't know. Star favor. How many? Oh, wait, here's the Dep. Oh, that's the same one. Oh, this one's got like a cool little back on it. Oh,
I like that.
Pedals.
That's cute.
That's crazy. Look at this stuff. Ooh, this one's 400, even better. 10 instrument tones with layering. I know what those words mean. But
Yeah, I just really struggle with anything requiring physical dexterity.
Yeah, there's none of that involved in a keyboard.
Well, that's
or a
why I haven't really
piano.
played instruments before. That's why I've always done like choir and singing and acting because
video games. They're right here.
I think that actually helped me a lot, and I think that's part of the reason like why my visual acuity was okay for a while until like my brain was like, we cannot keep up with your astigmatism. But video games, I think, have helped me a lot, and they help me with my reaction time and stuff. Because
they definitely help, yeah, with reaction time, hand-eye coordination.
Plus, I don't know if you've noticed in traffic, everybody's on their fucking phone. Everybody.
In traffic?
Yeah, I'll be like sitting at a red light. I'll look around, and like the people behind me are on their phone. The people in front of me are on their phone.
I'm confused about how that has to do with pianos, but go on.
Oh, because I was talking about reaction speed. And so. Yes. It makes sense. Don't look at me like that.
No, I'm waiting for the thoughts.
So you're at a red light, and it turns green.
Yep.
I go really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm paying attention, and my reaction time is...
it's recommended that you don't floor it as soon as it turns green.
You're not, not flooring it, but like...
Yeah, you're supposed to take a second, make sure the intersection's clear,
yeah,
and then
I look, and then I go.
Oh, no. You just said, and then I go really quickly. But my reaction speed's so good.
I'll be looking behind me, and people are waiting like a minute to go, and only 1 or 2 cars gets to go because they wait so long because they're on their fucking phones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pay attention. I'm not about to piss off somebody and get shot in traffic.
So, like, yeah.
That's the correlation there.
Yes, I see it. I think piano would be fine, too, because you could play it, like, silently, as long as you had the headphones and stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like, the violin that I have, right, it is quieter than a normal violin, because it's an electric violin.
Does it not come with, like, a mini amp or anything?
No, it's got headphones, right? The headphones, great. Hear it fantastically. You take off the headphones, you can hear it, just not as clearly. But so like the tone changes a little bit based off the headphones and whatnot. It's still fun, but it sounds better in my headphones.
Well, you should let me listen sometime.
Why are you stopping?
But today I injured myself, right?
Yes. Do tell us how.
With ice, and I think it's bruising a little bit.
No. Let's emphasize that last part.
With ice. Yeah. Okay, so I was at work, and we have an industrial ice machine. And I flipped it up. I've got my bucket, and I'm scooping ice. And I scooped once.
Is it industrial or commercial?
What's the difference?
Let's look and see. Oh, real estate. That's cool. Industrial refers to any business dealing with manufacturing. Commercial deals with any business done with motivate or gaining, blah, 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 blah. I think yours is more commercial because you're using it to sell things.
Okay, our commercial ice maker.
Well, you got to clarify sometimes around here.
Okay, so our gigantic ass ice maker. Why are you holding your wet ass cup over me?
To taunt you with my ice.
I don't want it, thank you. I'm trying to
keep Are you feeling scared now?
Ooh. No. I don't have rabies.
Patrick, you're scaring him.
I don't have rabies. Water doesn't scare me.
No, ice.
No.
There's ice in there.
Okay, it's cold. I don't like it.
Aha, she is afraid.
Okay, what the fuck was I talking about?
The events today have traumatized her from her industrial commercial ice machine.
So I scoop 1 scoop into the bucket. I'm going into my second scoop, and a whole load of ice just fucking smashes down on my hand. And I was like, oh, ow. And it was, I think you said this too, but they were like, oh, did you hurt yourself? It sounded fake.
Yeah, you said that this morning. Like, I was in the bathroom doing something, and from the other room, I just hear, ow. I was like, okay. So I finished what I was doing, and I walked out, and you were like, and you just look at me and go, that hurt a lot. I burnt my tongue. And I was like, were you being serious? It sounded so fake. What? I don't...
They said the same thing, and then like we looked, and like I had a tiny cut on my thumb, and then this tiny cut here, and then a small bruise, and I was like, how did I get get injured by ice? Like, what the hell? Normally, it's burns, you know? Nope. Today, I got hit with ice, and it literally felt like rocks hitting my hand. I was like,
Well,
damn.
yeah, they're falling. Running
Yeah, because
ice.
they get like shoved out of this like tray thing.
Yeah, and it's an industrial ice birth machine. Yeah,
But it's a gigantic sheet of it, so it all goes like. Boom.
I've never heard ice make that sound. But
Well, so it's more like.
yeah, okay. It goes splat. Okay.
I can't describe it. It's like a deep sound.
A deep sound. Go on.
Don't look at me like that.
I'm waiting. Here, I'll listen.
And it falls in a sheet, and it's like. It goes.
It goes pant. There's two sounds.
I can't make the sound. I'm not an ice machine.
Does it sound like ice falling?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we
like
described
a lot
that.
of it.
Oh, it sounds like ice falling a lot.
Okay. But it got me thinking about like
yes. How icebergs are formed.
No.
How there's no icebergs left.
Shut up.
The polar bears are dying.
Please don't say things like that to me.
I'm just asking.
About things that don't seem like they're dangerous, but they are. Like, do you know of anything like that?
Who said ice wasn't dangerous?
But like things that like you wouldn't think like, oh, I'm like ice is scary.
No, I think ice is dangerous. What do you mean?
Okay, like why?
You can choke on an ice cube. You like what?
That's your first example. You can choke on an ice
Where do
cube.
you normally put ice cubes? Up your butt? No, you put them in your mouth.
Okay, but if you choke on an ice cube, it's just gonna melt.
Not quick enough. You can die without.
I think you could survive long
You'll
enough.
suffocate before, and if you get water in your lungs, if you get water in your lungs because it's melting, as you so put. Thank you.
If you choke on an ice cube and get water in your lungs, I think that's natural selection at work.
Natural selection. Sometimes you just swallow water wrong. Is that natural selection?
I don't die.
You could.
Okay,
You
well
drink
then
too
that
much
would
of
be
it.
my death.
Anyway, ice.
You see this?
People
I have a
freeze to death.
solution.
There was a whole
You
thing called
don't
the
drink
ice age.
ice.
The ice age. People die because in the wintertime it's cold. Like, you ever tried to invade Russia in the winter? No, you would die.
No, stupid.
Right, because of the ice. It's dangerous.
Listen.
You got to think back to Futurama. That you use the code of the ice. All right, thin and crispy, way too risky.
Thin and crispy, way too risky.
Yeah, he's ice fishing with his dad. Then he gets a cold and nearly kills everyone.
I guess I need to learn more about ice because I guess
Exactly, it's dangerous.
Well, I guess I'm gonna keep writing that story that's about ice. Did I have you read that one for my class?
Was it cold?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Otherwise, it'd be water.
And there's the one about like murder.
Yeah, look, you wrote a story about ice and murder, and then you went out today and went, I don't know how ice would be dangerous.
But did I make you read it?
Yeah, well, the first part of it, yeah.
Okay, well, he really liked it, and he was like, you should keep writing it. And now I'm like, okay, maybe I will. And then I've been editing my other book.
That's cool.
Can you stop getting your ice water all over me? Get out of it!
I'm sorry.
Why don't you
I know
take notes anymore?
I know you're afraid of ice.
Why don't you be taking notes?
What do you mean?
Because normally you leave little notes, and then I kind of know different ways to, you know.
I kind of know different ways too.
Shut up! Like the description.
every time I type things, you stop what you're saying to read it, and it's just
okay,
hurtful.
but like it helps me make the description when I'm editing the episode.
Okay.
Because I feel like my descriptions are.
Wow.
Have you read my descriptions?
No, they're lame.
And I don't know what to name the episodes. Like,
What do you mean?
audience, he's not helping me. Like, have you seen my descriptions?
No, for the second time.
Why haven't you looked?
I don't read them.
Oh my god. Are you not interested in our podcast?
No, the first like 60 I wrote, so why would I read it again? So like the last 10 that you've done, it's not a habit that I have to read them. Like it's
I mean, I don't know.
What is it?
Ready your ears for all the coughs and laughter you can handle. This week we tackle the hard stuff like tanning in a drive-thru, how to compliment people, and Ripley's vengeful nature. Don't worry.
Well, you're not even reading it in an exciting way.
Oh my god! I'm trying to read it in a clear way. That's
in
an
a
old
clear
one.
way.
I think you wrote that one.
I think so too.
Oh.
You're reading it in a boring way.
There's this one. This week we have a feast for your ears as we discuss wild things, such as people who are bad at driving and the proper way to build a PC. Jordon has some adventures at the bar, and Ripley gets major FOMO. We've got all that and more on this week's episode of Mindless Prattle. And then if you liked what you heard, blah 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 blah.
Man, you are not great in the sales department. We're not looking for clarity. I'm not
I'm not.
like some of them aren't even complete sentences. Like I used to before the program that we use. It's a newer program. It didn't have spell check, so I'd have to run it through other programs
Mhm.
to check for spelling because spelling I care about. And a lot of times I would check for spelling in other programs, and it would remind me that I don't have punctuation or complete sentences or correct grammar, and I would
Mhm.
just be like, "Wow, that's crazy," but everything's spelled right and post like it's.
Yeah, you get it right for your voice.
And so I think just ignored a lot of stuff.
Okay, but so the thing about things not seeming dangerous but are.
Stop playing with your hair and put it away. Not on like floor.
The robot will get it.
Yeah, the robot. When's the last time you cleaned out the robot?
The day before yesterday.
You cleaned out the hair?
Not the
No, you
bottom.
did not. All right. Wow, that was cool. Maybe now
Okay,
we
but
came
so
around here.
it got me thinking.
Hmm.
Like, what are like the weirdest things that have ever happened in history? Like, can you think of anything off the top of your head?
Like what?
Okay, so the first one I found was I think I had read about this before, but
Hmm.
have you ever heard or read
Quicksand? Yeah, it's dangerous.
No, not
People be
quicksand.
dying all the time in that.
The Kentucky meat shower? It sounds terrible saying it out loud.
You know what's more dangerous than quicksand? Grain silos.
Oh god, that sounds terrifying actually.
It's like quicksand, except there's no bottom, and you just fall in and can't breathe, and you're.
Ah,
You know, people die. Like, how many people die from quicksand a year?
hold on. Where did you come
And
up with that?
what do you mean?
God, that's horrifying. I guess it is September.
Die from, let's see, quicksand. There isn't much data on how people die from quicksand each year, right? Now, how many
Because
people
deaths
die
are
from
rare, audience.
Yeah, green silos. Green silos a year. The answer is 24 people died
Oh
in
my
2022 out of the 83
Wait, hold
reported
on.
incidents.
It said this was an increase from the previous
Yes,
year.
I told you, grain silos are more dangerous than quicksand.
That's why I just don't go near grain silos.
Yeah, it's not gonna like eat you if you walk near it. It's the people who go inside the grain silos.
know.
They go.
I'm aware that the grain silo is not.
Well, you said you don't go
alive.
near them. I mean,
I was trying to make a joke. Why didn't you laugh?
because my joke's better. And
Okay, but I was talking about the Kentucky meat shower.
yeah,
Have you heard of it?
no, I was talking about grain silos.
Okay, so in March 3rd of 1876, a bunch of like chunks of red meat and bloods fell all over this place in Kentucky, which is why it's called Kentucky Meat Shower.
Oh, thank goodness.
But it was like 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. like just raining chunks of blood and stuff. And I guess they tested the tissues and found it was a mixture of like horse and like human infant meat.
Okay.
And people like tasted it and like all this wild shit trying to figure out what it was. Some people said maybe it was vultures vomiting up a meal because I guess they do that when they're scared or something or need to,
It's their
fly really
defense
quickly.
mechanism.
But
vomit.
it doesn't make sense that it would be falling for like an hour straight. Like it was like a lot.
Yeah.
So it's still a mystery, but I was like, could you imagine like this one lady described what she saw because she was outside like doing her laundry or some shit, and she was like, yeah, I just looked up and there was blood raining down. Like, would you not be like, okay, I guess the Bible was right? Like, I would be freaking the fuck out. I'd be like, but
What year was this?
1876.
Why did you look this up?
I was going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, okay. Like,
Sometimes I read one thing and I'm like, oh, what about this? And then I'm like, what about this? What about this? And I keep just like finding cool things. Okay.
Okay.
I just thought you might be interested in that, my Bob.
What else is seemingly dangerous but not?
Okay, well, so it's not like the same thing. Like I didn't have that many. I just thought
You just had the vague question.
it was my question, my starter, and then like I kind of
I
progressed.
have a vague question and one bullet point. I got a whole hour's worth
Have you
here.
ever heard of? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. If it's Vela or Vela, I think it's Vela. The Vela incident.
Is all your things involving blood?
No, it's not blood. It's about nuclear testing.
Right. No one died from that.
Yeah, but it's not the point of this. Okay, so
Go on.
there was like an unidentified double flash of light, like crazy bright, seen by the American Vela Hotel satellite in 1979 near the Prince Edward Islands between Africa and Antarctica.
Yeah.
But like there wasn't anything planned or approved. Nobody knew what it was, and most of the documents about it have been classified by the U.S. government.
Okay.
But most people think it was an undeclared nuclear test between South Africa and Israel. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, why would those two?
Are you talking about the location or like they're the ones who did it?
Yeah, like, why would those two be working together? But also, like, why would halfway between Antarctica and South Africa be a good place to test bombs?
Did you say Israel and South Africa?
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, they're just not near each other at all.
But then I couldn't figure out anything because, again, most of the documents are classified, so nobody knows like what it actually was. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you see that NASA sent a cat video into space?
No, I love that though. What kind of cat?
I don't know. That's not the point. Not the point, even remotely.
Oh, what is the point? Sorry.
So you ever watch The Martian with Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Or like Interstellar, and they're like, okay, yeah, it'll take X amount of time to get a signal to wherever they're at and back, right? Like to Mars, I think it's like a 30-minute trip to send a signal and 30 minutes back. So it's like
that's excessive.
Yeah, so it's in like light minutes and whatnot, right? Well, NASA is exploring new ways to communicate in like deep space at a faster rate because the radio waves that we send are just too slow usually, right? So what they did was they converted a cat video into basically the same particles that we use in like fiber optic cables that go like across the ocean floors to like get the internet and stuff all over the world. Basically the same thing, except they transmitted the light particles to a satellite, which then decoded it and then sent it back. And the round trip was, I think it said, over 10 times faster than the radio waves.
What does that equate to?
It equates to like 10 times faster of being able to communicate into deep space.
But I don't understand like how much
like
faster would that be?
Say it took you 30 minutes to send a message to Mars, and then it took 30 minutes to get back. So it took 60 minutes. Well, instead, now it'll take 3 minutes to get there and 3 minutes to get back. So you can communicate at like 6 minutes instead of 60.
Okay.
It's a big difference.
That's really cool.
But they used a cat video to test this.
As they should. Funny. Cats for science.
And it was just a cat that was chasing a laser couch. Like that was the video.
I love that. Could you imagine a bunch of aliens receiving some random signals and they decode it and it's just a cat? They'd be like, this is their culture. Yes, I do worship the cat gods.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at this thing the other day that was like the amount of like coincidence that would have to happen for another intelligent species to be in the universe and be able to receive radio waves that we are specifically sending out. Like that's crazy because like radio waves, we've only been able to utilize them and detect them for a few hundred years out of the millennia that humans have been around. So they're like, if there even was like another intelligent life form and they're 3 centuries behind us, they wouldn't be able to find it.
That's also assuming, like, we always assume that they'd be behind us. What if a lot of intelligent life forms are above us?
That's what we're saying too. Or ahead, like either way, if they're ahead of us or behind us, and they're not looking for those radio waves or those particular waves anymore, then we're gonna miss that chance.
Like have you ever seen the theory about like humans just being a really basic civilization, so the rest of the aliens don't want to mess with us because we're developing still?
Yeah. I mean, we're as a species. I think the projection is that the planet can hold 10 billion people before the resources completely start to die off and the population will plateau by itself.
I thought it's already plateauing though.
It's slowing down because we just hit 8 billion, but 10 billion is like the maximum it'll be at, and it'll plateau, and then it'll start.
I thought the issue wasn't how many resources we have, but the distribution of them.
Distribution and living space, yeah, but it comes to like the math supports it comes to a point where no matter, even if you distributed all the resources to the people, it wouldn't be enough to sustain more than around 10 billion.
So what are you gonna do when Earth becomes a survival game?
I don't know. That's what other things too is people always think that they have the greatest odds, right? Like in survival, like apocalyptic.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, you fucked it up too. Got her.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah, the apocalyptic societies and like movies and TV shows, whatever it is. There's a slim population wherever they go of a few thousand, maybe, right? Like a few. If you do the math on it, say that there's 10,000 people that survive, right? But that's out of the 8 billion people. Oh, my phone can't even handle it. I got to turn it sideways. Right? Out of the 8 billion people, that's math wise, it's a 0.0001% chance that you survive. You have so much better odds
Don't
of
say things like
winning
that
the
to me.
lottery every day for the near future than you do surviving the apocalypse. And people are always like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna survive here and I'm gonna survive there and we're gonna have a bunker and this and that. And you're like, you won't survive that. Like you could have a million people survive.
If
and
my
it still
cats
wouldn't
can't
be enough.
survive, I don't want to survive either. Like, also, like, would I even want to be alive in a situation like that unless, like, you're gonna protect me? Because, like, I ain't gonna be a female in the apocalypse. Like, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if a million people survive, it's a 0.01% chance that you're surviving.
It's at a certain point,
crazy.
is it just like hole up in the apartment and like hope everybody else kills each other off and I just don't get bothered?
It depends on what kind of apocalypse it is. Like, if it's just like bombs are falling, there's a decent chance you survive. But then right after that, a lot of people are going to die off from the radiation. If it's a disease that goes around, we already saw how that happens. Lots of people are dying. Like, it's few will survive that. Like ultra rich in bunkers, random lucky people. It's pretty much it. But everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll do this, this, and this. I've seen so many survival movies, and I know how to survive in the woods.
No.
And you're like, you can survive in the woods if the apocalypse was a disease and you were very far off the grid where no one ever finds you.
Also,
but as soon as the first person shows up that has like survived that disease, you're dead.
But also, I'm not gonna survive in the woods. Like, what do I look like?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
you would have to have the knowledge and be there already, and like
purifying water and shitting in a hole in the ground. You know, sleeping in the woods
you're
with the
in
creatures.
Your compost for your farm.
Like, no, I don't want to do that. You know,
where are you gonna be at? All the power's gonna shut off. What are you gonna do?
Okay, we can build an outhouse.
You can build one in there in the woods. Okay, yeah,
like the point is, I'm not surviving without you either. Like, I can do that shit alone.
Not a lot of people will survive. That's my point.
We gotta get backpacks for our cats, and we gotta build a house in the woods.
You have so much better odds of like winning the lottery than you do. Like,
I got a lot of books. You know, I can hit people with them.
Yeah.
If you were like sucked into a game like Sword Art Online, what role do you think you'd be? You know, like some people kept trying to like defeat everything and beat the game,
right?
But then some people became like blacksmiths and stuff. What would you do?
I don't know. It depends on like the type of game. If it was like Sword Art, depends on how good I was at the game, I guess. Like if you're good at the combat portion, then hey, stick with combat. You know, it's fine. If you played the game and you're like, oh hell yeah, I love blacksmithing, and then you get trapped there, I'm not gonna be like, you know what, to the front lines. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna stay here and give you swords so you can front at the front lines. You know,
I'm not the one you want trying to
depends.
face the boss.
Like I said, it depends on what I was beforehand. Because like he was the main character, he was already killing things and like knew a bunch about the sport and was like really good at the game and good at killing things. And then they got trapped there, and he's like, oh shit, I need to level up real fast.
Yeah,
like that's what he went and did. But
I think even like knowing about gaming and being a gamer, I would still perish. I think I'd be like a bookkeeper or like a magical potion seller.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have a little restaurant or something where the adventurers could stop at night. You know, something cozy. I'd be like, here, adventurers, how can I ail you?
Yeah. No, if I wasn't that great at the game, like at the combat of it, I think I would do the probably blacksmithing for sure. Like, here you go. Here's a good sword. Thanks for the materials.
Yeah. I'd be like, I can build our house. I'll go gather some resources and do some fishing. Try not to get eaten by the lake monsters. You know, you guys can go fight. Have a good time.
You guys go fight. I don't need it.
I don't like real life horror, you know? I like mysteries like 1872. I was going further down the rabbit hole here, okay? So December 4th, 1872, there was a British American ship called the Mary Celeste that left New York and it was going to Italy.
Yep.
And there was a captain, 7 crew members, and then the captain's wife and their toddler 2-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So the ship was found just like floating in the middle of the ocean. But the issue was that everybody was gone, and so was one lifeboat. But the cargo was completely intact. The ship was perfectly like sea fine. They said everything was normal. Nothing was taken. Just everybody on board was gone, and the lifeboat was gone. So like they don't know what happened. If like they were like if it was pirates or if it was,
Drugs.
something like that. They were like maybe the captain experienced something and told them all to get on the lifeboat, but then they just disappeared and like lifeboats not found, bodies aren't found, like nobody has any clue what happened to these people.
Where were they going? To Italy?
Yeah, from New York.
Oh, well, that's a terrible journey to make that
Yeah.
in a wooden ship. Yes,
But like the ship itself was completely fine. I'm like, I don't know, you know. It was a long time ago. Maybe they got scared by something on the seas and were like, we gotta go. You know, I don't. Who knows? The ship, the water does weird things to people.
Yes, the water.
I don't know. I don't know if I could handle being on a boat that long. Like,
We haven't mapped out most of the ocean.
yeah,
Like we just don't.
we've explored more of space than the ocean. Like, what the fuck? What does that mean?
It's hard to see.
And then it's hard to see. And then like they just found that like mega ocean underneath the ocean.
Yeah, they just discovered. Scientists discovered like 1,200 new species that have never before been seen underneath the ocean floor.
If I were those species, I would stay hidden.
Mhm.
Like, do not come near the humans.
Oh yeah, be like the colossal squid. Just don't be around.
Ugh, scary.
Yes. Did you also see that scientists found a new way that the Earth is creating oxygen?
Is it good?
Yes, oxygen is good. Turns out we use it.
How is it happening?
So, like, right before this, the only way that we knew how oxygen was created was through light, right? Photosynthesis,
Mhm.
plants make oxygen, and then they take out the carbon dioxide.
Mhm.
We went to science class. New science time. They found that there are deep in the ocean where there's no light that reaches it. They found oxygen, and they went, "Where the heck is this coming from?" And it turns out it's a combination of chemicals and being processed through vents in the ocean floor that is creating what they're calling dark oxygen.
Oh,
It's a different type of oxygen because it's not.
why do
There's
they
no
always have to call everything the opposite of something that we know? They're like the
well,
dark
because
version.
light is a major role in everything that we do and know about.
Mhm.
So, like the observable everything is due to light. So when they find something that's created in the absence of light, I mean, the word is dark. That's what it is. It's called dark oxygen. It's pretty
Me in the
interesting.
womb.
It's pretty interesting. But so they're theorizing that because they now know that oxygen can be made without light,
Mhm.
that some faraway planets that they know have frozen oceans could have life that we just can't see because it's beneath the surface
Mhm.
where oxygen could thrive. Right? It's exciting.
Okay. What are they gonna do with it?
Do with what?
That knowledge.
Science.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist. It's just cool. Okay, it's just cool science.
I just like mystery.
Yeah, I like science.
Science is cool if like we can do stuff with it.
What do you think they're gonna be like? We've discovered it. We're done. No applications for this.
Why was I born too early to go on it safely?
Because you're afraid of space. What do you mean?
I wouldn't be if like I was guaranteed to get there. You know.
Do you know the percentage of people who have died in space? It's fucking like minimal.
But none
It's
of them
nothing.
have ever traveled billions of light years away to go to a new planet.
Neither will you. That's not in your future.
I
You're afraid of
know.
like going to the space station because it'll blow up. Nobody's died on the space station. No, no. The only time people have died in space was when they didn't even get there. They blew up on the way.
Did you see this? I can't remember the specific details, but this guy said that he had proof that of like how time travel would work, and then he was murdered.
Oh, like the water car guy.
And then they were like, was he murdered so that he wouldn't tell us? Or
Yeah, it's like the water car guy.
water car guy?
Yeah, so in the 1900s, there was a engineer, scientist guy. Like I don't know his name. You can look it up though. Who successfully created a car that ran on water, like fully engine that ran on water, could drive around wherever. He presented it to one of the motor companies, I guess. I don't remember which one. They rejected his idea. He was later found murdered in his home, and his car was never recovered. They have no idea where it went, and they went, all of a sudden, he's just gone, and so is his car, and all of his research notes were burned. You're like,
But like,
interesting.
if that conspiracy is true, wouldn't that mean like would nobody have tried to experiment with that same thing since then, even in the absence of his invention?
People are trying now, but just because they're trying doesn't mean they'll be successful like he was.
I think if people could figure out how to use salt water to make engines go, it would fix a lot of problems.
The problem with it is the salt. Salt corrodes most metals.
What if we could use something that's not a metal with the salt water?
That would be fine too, I guess. But then what would you make? Should be plastic because that's kind of just as pollutant as refining metal.
I mean, maybe we could repurpose
get a
the
polymer,
plastic in
but polymers
landfills.
are expensive.
Like repurpose plastic in landfills to make new things, like they do with roads and shit.
Good.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know. Somebody do experiments. It's not for me.
Yep.
Some more mysteries? I got some. Okay, so have you heard of the Voynich manuscript?
No, what is it?
Okay, so it's a 250-page book written in a completely unknown and unidentified language and writing system. It was named after this guy, a Polish book dealer who bought it in 1912. And he said that the original owner claimed that it was written by an alchemist or an early scientist. And some people try to claim that the Voynich guy like made it up or created it or something. But the book was carbon dated back to the 1400s and is believed to be intended as a medical text. But nobody knows what it is. And I'm like,
so some guy wrote a bunch of random symbols down and said, "Don't worry, you just can't understand it yet," and then handed it off to somebody else.
But it was carbon dated is the only thing. Like, it was proven to have been made in the 1400s.
Yeah, someone wrote a bunch of symbols in the 1400s because they couldn't write their actual written language, and then said, "This is for medicine," and gave it to somebody else.
It could be. That's like one of my favorite things. Like when they uncover stuff. Like what's that place with the volcano?
Iceland.
No, like the ancient place that got destroyed by the volcano.
Oh, Mount St. Helens.
No, that's not ancient. That's like the 80s.
Oh. Peru.
No. Is it Greece?
It's in Greece. Yeah. This is fun. There's a song named after it. You have to pay to get there. Maybe if you're a cheerleader and you had some pom-poms.
What?
No, nothing.
What the hell?
No? Okay. We'll just wait. We'll wait for you to Google it.
I can't find it.
Oh.
Pompeii?
There you go. Killing me, Smalls. I don't...
Oh.
Come on now.
But like, they'd be like, "Oh, we've uncovered this really rare piece of text," or like this rare photo from Pompeii, and then it's just something that says like dicks, or it's like a wooden dildo, and they're like, history.
Did you? So you know how like photographers are always like dying.
Are they?
To get,
is that a thing?
They get pictures and die. So
okay, go on.
Speaking of volcanoes.
Oh.
What? Why are you upset right now?
Tell your story.
Okay, so when Mount St. Helens went off, right?
Mm-hmm.
The predictions were a certain radius you would be safe. And volcanoes are one of like the phenomenons that don't happen super often. So photographers take lots of pictures of it. They'll have to do it, right? So one photographer, I forget his name. I'm bad with names. I'm good with events, bad with names. I forget his name, but he was standing at the Mount St. Helens eruption. and started taking pictures, as it erupted. Well, when he realized that he wasn't going to be safe from the ash, because the ash is like 800 degrees, right?
Because
He
didn't
continued
they think it was
taking
gonna be like a small eruption, but then it like blew the top off of the
yeah.
mountain?
He continued taking pictures. One of the last pictures, the ash is like directly above him. That the picture that he's taken, and then they found it because he had ran back to his car a few feet away, taken the film out of the camera, put it in a like a little steel container, put it deep in his backpack, and then laid on top of the backpack in his car. So later they found the pictures, inside the backpack, and all the other photographers that passed away, none of the pictures were usable, but his pictures are that were recovered, so you can see his pictures. Of,
Oh my god! Are you trying to make me cry again?
Why? Mount St. Helens eruption. Let's see. Photographer that died. Yeah. Here it is. The final two images from his camera were just the ash falling down on top of him.
What was his name?
Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. 57 people died in the eruption. Where is he at? Here it is. Robert Emerson Landsberg.
Oh.
His camera. Yeah, so he took the pictures. There was his car just covered in ash and dirt and
Oh my
smoke.
god.
These are the pictures of the eruption, and then the ash just getting closer and closer until it's on top, falling down on top of him, and he ran to his car.
I always think it's so admirable people die for science. Like, I think like the bravery of that too. Like, you're gonna die, and you're like, I've got to save these pictures. Like,
well,
damn.
yeah, if your life was photography and
dedicated,
hey, hey, I'm not getting out of this. Like, there's no chance of running away. Volcanoes, they seem dangerous. They are dangerous. Different category.
I know. Like every few months, some old person on Facebook posts an article about how there's gonna be a super volcanic eruption across the United States, and that if you don't repulse this thing, then you will die.
Have you seen an earthquake bed? It is
the one where they trap you.
Yeah. You like drop into it. So it's this bed that detects like earthquakes, and then the middle underneath you drops down, so you fall into like a little taco of your mattress, and then it closes over the top of you, and it stays closed for like 12 hours or something like that. So you have food and water in there if you stocked it, which you probably should. But also, looking at it, the design is crazy to me, because if you're sleeping like on the edge of the bed, you are most certainly getting like hit in the head with a fucking mattress, or the thing coming over top of you is just gonna go, ah, fuck.
I think it would be much better to be hit in the head with the mattress than it would be to be hit in the head with the building.
But like, also, what is the bed's determination of earthquake, right? Like, if you just like bring home some Tinder date and you guys are just going at it, and all of a sudden, you're behind her, she's having fun, you're having a good time, and then the bed opens up and she drops in and it goes, and you're like, yeah, well, all right, I didn't realize we were going that hard. Like, what is the what is the magnitude it thinks? I feel like that would be dangerous.
Well, yeah, natural disasters are awful.
I meant like you getting crushed because you were doing the wrong position.
Oh, well.
Natural disasters, that's the Earth way of saying get out.
Maybe you have to upgrade your size if you want a partner to be allowed in the bed when you get.
Do you think you could get two, like a king size bed, so there'd be two? It drops in the left and the right mattress, and then there's little windows so you can see each other get buried in rubble.
Oh my god. The modern Twilight.
No, you'd be like, no, wait, yours is defective. And you'd be like, no, wait, bye. Well,
I'm glad I paid $5,000 for this bed.
Yeah. Oh, man.
God, it's so late. I need to play Once Human.
Yeah. Nah, we gotta eat dinner first.
Okay, well, and then I'll play Once Human because I need my sexy vampire outfit. We've been playing so much Once Human.
You have.
You have as well.
No. I'm just more efficient at it, so it seems like I've been playing longer.
My leg is hairy.
Good deflection, I guess.
Sorry, it's just so fuzzy. And I have to pee really bad.
All right, well, we're gonna get out of here. So
sorry, audience.
Rivley can pee, and then I can have dinner. Not in that order. Probably not related, but it's,
Definitely not related.
yeah, there's a category for related things, and it's
Cat category. Sorry, I saw this and then you said category and I was like, cat.
well, I'm gonna leave
Well,
you
this has
to
been
it
a
then.
great
I'm
episode
gonna-
of Mindless Prattle. Jordon thinks I'm absolutely insane. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.